Hey everybody, so today we are going to be talking about something that is bothering me to no end, and that is, what exactly is a hallucination? And this is coming up because it's so prominently discussed in most AI things, but when I've been having conversations with folks that aren't constantly working in AI, they were like, why are you using that silly, weird word? It's a hallucination. What does that even mean? And for those that do know what it means, it's when the AI kind of makes things up when it is generating something, whether that's an image where it is hallucinating that something is there that really shouldn't be, or it's when you are generating text or sound or, all of the combinations of those when you see something like a video, it's making something up. And, if you're looking at it from a statistical model perspective, AI is not a brain. It does use what's called a neural network, but it's not an actual brain, right? It's a statistical model. And just like any other statistics, we can look at what was it trained on and did it get it right based on what it's been trained on. So what that looks like is, there we go. This is a confusion matrix. So this is something that I actually have a different video on, so I'll link that down below and up above if you want to go and check out the full explanation of how you can use confusion matrices to understand the confidence of what your model is spitting out. And at the end of the day, AI are models, right? They're models that are different than a traditional machine learning model. AI is the general overview of things. The things that we talk about the most with hallucinations are large language models, or LLMs. So that would be like the ChatGPTs, the Llamas, the Geminis, those types of things. Copilot, if you're a Microsoft user. So those are all LLMs. And there's a whole slew of other things that go into those. And I'll probably have another video just going through the different layers of that cake, because that is also a point of confusion, is what does AI training actually mean? But if you look at what it was trained on, it understands certain things about the world, and it will learn things like cats are these furry things that run around your house as pets, and they have whiskers and they have fur and they say meow. Well, tigers also have fur and whiskers, and they don't meow, but they roar. So there's a lot of similarities, right? But there's other characteristics that will identify and move the model into a space that is more house cat than tiger, right? Because it's understanding things that are more specific about each of those things to understand when somebody's asking about a tiger, it means this versus the house cat pet. Although some people have tigers as pets. So, there's all those nuances that have to be understood. Now, the way that LLMs work is all of those things kind of go into a blender when it's learning, because at the other end, it's not deterministic. So deterministic means when you are teaching or training the AI, you say when you see something that is a house cat and it is under 30 pounds and it has whiskers and fur and it meows, it equals a traditional house cat. But if you see something that has fur and whiskers but roars and is over 30 pounds and it looks a certain way or has certain dietary restrictions or whatever it might be, then it's this kind of cat. Those are characteristics that the machine will learn from and understand. These are the rules of the world. When you see this thing, it means that thing. That's deterministic. LLMs are not deterministic. They kind of just say, well, let me learn from all of these different things, and I am going to create connections between things based on what I'm being asked to do. So when we see the things that are hallucinations, they're not a brain coming up with things like they're on some psychedelic thing that's making them hallucinate, or, as humans hallucinate sometimes when they're dehydrated. It's not like a mirage in the desert. It is a false positive, meaning the AI thinks this is the real thing, but it's really not. It's not accurate for the context that we're asking, our understanding of the thing. And then there are false negatives, which is the AI didn't think this was the right thing, but it actually is, again, according to human understanding and what we're expecting. So those are false positives and false negatives. It's when based on all of the training and understanding that the LLM has, it still got it wrong. But it has high confidence that it got it right, even though it's not. Or it has high confidence that it shouldn't respond with these things, but actually it should. That's a false negative. So there's a lot of other things in there that people will say, well, there is more to it than that, the AI is coming up with things logically all on its own. But it is a statistical model, right? So it can only react to the thing that it knows about. It is potentially coming up with things that do not exist at all. But even those things are being generated off of it knowing something about the world. It's not going to come up with something that it has absolutely no context and no information about, because that it's still a statistical model. It has to understand something. So even if, the common one that everybody was talking about a long time ago was Google saying, yes, it is perfectly acceptable to eat more than one rock a day. Where did that even come from? It's completely made up. It's hallucination. It's a hallucination. But somewhere somebody was, talking about, not to say somebody is recommending that you eat rocks, but there were probably enough people, probably on Reddit, let's all be honest, they were like, oh no, my child or my dog or whatever ate a rock. How bad is it? And a bunch of people said, well, if it's just one rock, it'll probably pass. It'll be fine. Not once did somebody say you should be eating rocks. But there was something out there in the world that the LLM is reacting to come up with that. At the end of the day, the LLMs are people pleasers. They want to give you something desperately to make you happy. The fact is, when we have these cutesy words for things, it kind of degrades what it actually is. So it's harder to talk about, because when you say hallucination to someone, they have different connotations. They think of humans and how humans and what scenarios a human would hallucinate something, versus understanding what AI actually is, which is a statistical model that's understanding things about the world and then making connections between things that maybe aren't really great. And it's because it's stretching its understanding to make you happy and give you results for whatever the thing is you're asking about. Now, there's other ways to mitigate that. And again, that's maybe another video. But this one, hallucinations described in the AI space, it's not actually a new phenomenon. It's been happening for quite some time. It's not been incredibly popular, but it did exist. And maybe if I am just thinking from a glass half full perspective, benefit of the doubt perspective, maybe that's why this cutesy label was associated with this. But something tells me it's more about the AI is a brain and it functions, it learns just like a human brain. And again, these are analogies. These are analogies to help people understand and learn and grasp what the AI is doing in relatable ways, but that's not actually how it's working. The reality of things is being described so we can all make better informed decisions. It's perfectly fine to talk about these things in analogies. I do it all the time. I do it on this channel constantly. But you also then have to use that as the bridge to talking about what things are in a factual and reality way, so that the real understanding of what it is understood, rather than the hype and, thinking of things as autonomous brains. Like even when we talk about agentic AI, is it making all of its own decisions and it's just coming up with these on its own? Again, when you get to the farthest reaches of agentic AI, it can do a lot of things on its own, but it still depends on training models, those foundational models. It also depends on humans directing it into what is expected, right? So those things don't go away. Those things can be automated. It can make it easier. You can do a lot of things where the AI suggests things and then you click and decide what you want the AI to do. But it's so frustrating here when it's like this magical box and it hallucinates and, there's nothing we can understand about it. When actually that's not true. It's not true. We just have to be better at talking about what it actually does versus the hype. So this is my little dose of uninfluencing you, I guess that's a trend, on like what is a hallucination. And I hope this has been helpful to you. If you know anybody else that would be beneficial to hear this, it's just my perspective of things. It's certainly something that I know has helped a lot of people that I have mentioned it to. So please pass this on if you think it's been valuable. All right, so with that, I want to thank you very much, and I'll catch you next time.